Hello and welcome to the Chatter Vox podcast. It's me, James.
And me, not James.
And unfortunately we haven't got Callum with us today. He is off gallivanting, so hopefully he'll be back on the, not next episode, but the episode after that. And I've got a question for you, Dave.
Go on in. Yeah.
What do you think a Necron smells like?
Iron filings. Like, you know when you're in school and you're doing like a DT?
Yeah.
And you're doing a bit of filing?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that and lube.
Because I was thinking it's not a natural metal, is it?
I don't actually know what... The Necrons here? No, that's not. That's what they're called, isn't it?
It's like living metal, isn't it?
Yeah, what's it? It's got...
So it's not real. But it's not anything that we've ever come across.
Isn't it called something?
I think it's called living metal.
Surely it's got a better name than that.
No, I think it's just living metal. Because it's
That's
living.
crap.
It's like the Terminator metal, isn't it? Like Mark II.
We've got to make a name up for it then. Necronium.
I mean, so the reason I ask is because I'm pretty certain in a book I recently read, and I can't remember at all because I have no memory, but I'm pretty certain someone smells the black stone stuff that's made by the Necrons and it has no sort of scent.
Then how did I smelt it?
In fact, I'm pretty certain it's Belisarius called that smells it.
Well, he's all robot anyway.
Yeah, he's got smell sensors.
That can't count.
Probably got better sense of smell than us.
Maybe got COVID.
Maybe.
40k COVID.
COVID 20. Yeah. So I don't know what they would smell like. I think they'd probably smell really random, like a
What's the weapons made? It's a nuclear Gauss, is it, or something?
Gauss weapons. Yeah.
Is that not? Does that smell like? If you go to Chernobyl, maybe how heavy down
Start
it.
sniffing all the
Start
radiation.
Go around there, have a sniff and a taste. That was nice.
Yeah, don't do that. We do not condone you going to Chernobyl and licking plutonium. Yeah, so we have been quite busy. There's quite a lot of news at the moment. And so we're going to change things around a little bit this episode. We're going to talk more about, competitive side because there's a lot of news that's come out and a lot of changes to 40k. So being a little bit more relevant, we're obviously still missing the boat with regards to being like super quick, but hopefully you can get a little bit of news from us. We're not going to be like perfect with any of it. A lot of the time we've had some experience and we've read some of the stuff, but we're not pros at the moment. We haven't done a lot of research. So, this is just our first takes, our hot take of it. So, I know you've had a little bit of experience with the
Pariah Nexus Season 2, 40k 10th. Yeah, I've done a few games. Annoyingly, I was lucky to have the deck early, but never actually played a game until after it was released.
Yeah.
So, you've not really seen it, have you?
So, I've seen one or two things. I've seen the map, which I'm a little bit upset about, mainly because it's changed my recent purchase of our terrain map.
So, actually, they use these down the club in Kidderminster.
Yeah.
And it's only 2 maps that are different, so that map is still relevant because it's still them dodgy.
Okay.
So
most of the other setups.
Yeah. So you'll still be able to use that.
Okay, that's good to know. And so obviously you say there's two different.
There's 2 new maps.
Yeah.
One, if they got rid of one map, I think it's the diagonal one going on lengthways.
Yeah.
I think that's when that's gone. The new ones stepped, going lengthways and widthways.
Okay.
The interesting thing about these ones, which is going to benefit probably your play style because you're quite aggressive. And then in 40k as well.
Yeah.
So when the 2 points on either side where it steps up, I believe you're 20 inches away from each other at the closest point rather than 24.
Okay, that's interesting.
So you can get into...
So you're slightly closer.
Yeah.
If supposing both people like line up right on the line. Yeah.
So obviously you roll eaters now and
you'll
have a bit more chance to get that quick movement. The new maps that go to tournament pack that came with it's quite favourable with melee.
Okay.
And
is that just because it's closer?
Yeah, melee and vehicles. I think anyway, just because there seems to be quite a bit more terrain laid out. I don't know if it's in the tournament pack. People can see. We'll put it up on video.
Okay.
So it looks like there's quite like nice terrain laid out where you can like hop around, and vehicles can also move over 2 inches.
Yeah.
I think I talked about you this earlier.
Yeah.
You got the grey bits where it's tall buildings. Then in the same terrain, there's 2-inch area, so vehicles can move over it, which should make it easier
So
to
it's
get
a little bit easier to get round with vehicles.
with vehicles.
So
yeah.
long as obviously you can get right over the other side.
Yeah, and now of course we'll talk about it later, but the FAQ that came out, vehicles now hull size and base size.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll talk about it later anyway.
Well, so missions wise.
Missions. I've got the deck.
Just
Yeah,
here
so
with
do
you,
you want me to go through
Yeah, so
the new ones?
What is there anything sort of standout-ish?
Actions is the big thing.
Yeah.
You're used to that from the old
So
editions.
just to explain then, so the way I have been explained, it's been explained to me, is that essentially it's now what we used to know as in 9th edition, where an action is you do the action and you can't do anything else. So you can move into the position, but you then can't shoot, assault, you can't have advanced.
Yeah.
And you can't do it. You
Can't
can't
fall
do anything
back.
afterwards. So you can't charge or. And
Yeah.
that's good actually. I like that you can't fall back and do it. To be fair, I didn't really think you could, apart from unless you could fall back and shoot.
Yeah, some people have that, don't like vehicles.
Yeah.
Some vehicles can do
So
it.
it was rare. So I suppose that's one thing that was kind of a little bit useful with armies that could fall back and shoot, but at the same time, it just makes the playing field a little bit more even,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
And the games I've had, I've struggled with the actions.
Yeah.
Because you get yourself into a point of, well, I'm ready to shoot. I'll play Thousand Suns. I get benefits from shooting onto objective. Suddenly, I need to do an action.
Yeah.
I'm in the firing line. Do I go for the points or do I?
Yeah, and so
Do I
more
become cannon
elite
fodder?
and,
Yeah.
and less heavier armies are going to struggle a little bit more with those actions, aren't they?
Yeah. But I
Um,
suppose that's, if you take an elite army, then
Yeah, you've got to kind of take that
yeah.
into consideration.
Then you got the battle line.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get perks, so you could shoot.
Oh, so battle line can shoot.
There's mission. I'll go through them as we go through these.
Okay.
There is mission rules. So what was it? Chilling Rain originally? No,
Yes.
no mission rule.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Okay.
There's always a mission
I
rule.
think tournament players are getting quite annoyed with this because they're like, "Why is it always raining?"
Yeah. So organisers are gonna have fun
Yeah.
because they've now got to have a mission rule.
Okay. Yeah,
I think most of them might be maybe battle line maybe because that's an easy one. To,
Yeah, but I think the idea was just that it was a basic.
Yeah.
Made things easy for tournament players. But I suppose if they do a slightly different version of that.
It'll be interesting. We'll see. Again, we'll talk about tournaments later because
And I'm excited actually to hear about the battle line stuff because obviously they kind of scrapped the whole idea of having to have like
one HQ, two
yeah,
troops.
and heavy and elite type of units. You just have a character unit and a unit,
Yeah.
and you're legal. Your list is legal, and I do think that gives you quite a strange opportunity that we've never really had before, where you can just make mental lists that just contain heavy units or elite units or fast attack units. So obviously, yeah, it'd be quite nice to see more troops again.
Yeah, it's nice that you could. I mean, it's only mission rules that give you the battle line. So there's a chance if you're playing casual. Because obviously, tournaments they've already preset. You look at advance what the mission rules going to be,
Yeah,
so you'll
yeah.
know. In casual, if you're doing random, you might not get the battle line cards. In that case, an elite army isn't going to have a disadvantage.
Yeah,
So it's quite good. I like it. It's a bit,
yeah, it's still probably worth consideration just if you pull it.
yeah. I think it's worth having one battle line at least, just in case.
So tell me about the battle line then. What is the?
So, do I go through the missions first?
Yeah, go
Because
on.
one
then.
of these does include battle line.
Yeah.
So, first of all, the cards are better laid out.
Oh, so it's easier to read.
There's a lot less. I mean, we'll put it up on later, but you can see it just by a good glance.
Yeah.
There's a lot less text.
Okay.
It tells you exactly first round, second round. So you got taken hold still in there, supply drops still in there, unexploded ordnance.
Okay.
So this is a new one. This seems pretty much like the servo schools.
Oh, so almost.
Tug of war.
I like to describe that as like football.
Yeah, you're trying to kick the ball into the
Yeah,
goal.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it. We've played it once.
It's not bad.
It's confusing. I think that was the issue.
It's just a bit different,
Yeah.
isn't it? So tell me what it is now then.
So you've got to do the action now to move the hazard.
Oh, okay. So you don't just get it by controlling it. You have
to do an action to
Okay, so it actually is like I'm going to kick the ball.
pretty much. Yep. So you're kicking a bomb. So one or more units. So it says start your shooting phase. This is how it's laid out.
Yeah.
Just in case you haven't seen the Pariah Nexus card yet, because I know they're out of stock a lot of places now.
Yeah.
Start Your shooting phase. Units. One or more units from your army, each within range of a different hazard objective marker you control.
Okay.
So you still got to be in range and
control it. Is it when does it happen at the start of the turn, end of the turn?
Shooting phase.
Okay. Yeah.
So yes, so it starts shooting phase. Completes end of your turn.
Yeah.
If the unit performing this action is still within range of the same hazard objective marker and you control that objective marker, so you have to. Sounds like you got to kick it and then run with the ball.
Okay.
Unless you got stickied.
So how do you run in the shooting phase though? Or do you mean you kick it and it still has to be within? So you can only move it. So it's
you can move each of these
range?
hazard objective markers up to 6 inches.
Yeah.
When doing so, that objective marker cannot end that move on top of any other objective marker or model or inside impassable parts of terrain features.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's not the area around it. That's the actual.
Yeah. The actual
For some people,
part.
it gets confusing. You think the actual.
Yeah.
Marker is.
Okay.
So it looks like you're just kicking it. Scoring from second battle round onwards. When each player's turn, the player whose turn it is scores VP as follows: 8 victory points for each hazard objective marker that is wholly within the opponent's deployment zone. 5 for each objective marker that is wholly within 6 inches of their opponent's deployment zone.
Yeah.
And 2 for each other objective marker that is wholly within 12 inches of their opponent's deployment zone.
Okay.
So it's pretty much servo scores.
Up to a maximum of what?
Does
it not say?
It doesn't say.
Okay. So it is essentially the same. You just have to do an action.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. So kicking back and forth.
Yeah.
Next one, Scorched Earth. That's one from the original one. However, it's now an action to burn the objective.
But it kind of was. It was before.
Yes, you couldn't shoot.
Yeah, and it finished on the end of your next command phase.
So I believe...
So it took quite a long time to do it.
This is still the same.
Yeah.
I believe. It's just laid out, tells you exactly. Starts, units, complete, if completed.
Okay.
The ritual, again, that's an action. That's the one where you're being with all objective markers in no man's land. I believe, actually, it used to be 9 inches, and it had to be 9 inches away. It's 12 inches now.
Ah, that's rumour, Matt. Okay.
So I think it made it a bit
12 inches.
Yeah, so I think it stops people just plant them in their deployment zone and what area.
Yeah.
Just castling.
Okay.
So that's the only thing that's changed really on that. Terraform. So this one, you want to try to start terraforming these objective markers. I've not played this one.
That sounds cool.
So again, starts your shooting phase. Units, one or more unit from your army, each within a range of a different objective marker that is not within your deployment zone and has not been terraformed.
Yeah.
At the end of your opponent's next turn or the end of battle, whichever comes first, if that unit performing this action is still within range of that same objective marker and you control that objective marker, then you
get the point.
Complete it.
Does it get taken away at that point? Does it?
If completed, each of those objective markers is terraformed. So I'm guessing
it's just an end.
Because you can't do it if it's already been terraformed, it sounds like. So I'm guessing it's a race between you and your opponent maybe to terraform them.
Yeah, can I have a look at that?
Yeah. The important thing is stretching over.
You can't see, but we've got very delicate microphones, and part of the difficulty of recording is that we don't touch our microphones.
We are literally
so we can't move from where we are until we stop recording.
Imagine a film where there's laser beams.
Okay, so you've already heard this, everybody out there, but this is more for my benefit. So one or more units from your army within range of a different objective marker that is not within your deployment zone and has not been terraformed. Yeah, so if it's been terraformed, you can't then take it off your opponent. So it would be a kind of early game race.
I'd think so, yeah. And obviously, as well, when you're in action, because it score any of your opponent's next turn. So obviously, you can't Overwatch because it cancels your action.
Yeah.
You can't if you have any. What's it called? Actions.
Like stratagems or
or to move away. Yeah, whatever it's. I can't remember what it's called. You know what I mean.
It's like reactive move.
Reactive move. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, it can't reactive move because obviously they stop the action. So if your opponent is doing that and it like scouts or something, and they're doing the action, you could try and force them to either get killed or.
So one thing with these cards that I'm personally a little bit concerned about, because most of my armies are T3. and don't all like. I've only got one that has power armor, so standing on objectives is not really my forte, and a lot of these are sounding a little bit sort of like go and get that objective and wait on it until next turn.
Yeah. I think there's a few that isn't. Let's have a look. Persia foe, again, that's just you get points for holding it and killing more than your
kill
opponent.
more, take more. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that's probably one of my favourite ones.
Yeah, it's just an easy one to do.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
I think is that all of them I've got? I feel there's more than that, but I haven't got them on me. They will still be in the box.
No, they probably are. That's probably right, isn't it? And then the rest are going to be your secondaries.
Yeah, mission rules.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I think I've just took a few of these out to show what there is.
Okay. Yeah. So
now,
more like the
obviously-
highlights as opposed
Yeah.
to yeah.
Because one includes Warlord. Warlord has a reason, but it's a bit crap. Because obviously there's no point, like, there's never been any benefit to saying who your Warlord is.
Okay.
So now there's a mission rule.
Is it kill the warlord?
Nope.
Okay.
This is literally, while a player's Warlord is not within their deployment zone, each time a unit from that player army takes a battle shot test, if that player's Warlord is within 9 inches of invisible to that unit, add 1 to the test.
Okay.
Yeah. Thoughts? Crap.
I mean, it's useless to me. It's useless to me because, again, like most of my warlords don't want to be kind of in the thick of it.
No.
I mean, actually, to be fair, saying that, if I'm playing demons and I've got a greater deep demon, I don't mind, and or possibly a sister's character,
Yeah.
but there's definitely going to be harder enemy characters, and actually that makes it harder for me fighting, say, Space Marines who already have a good like leadership. I don't like it. Not
yeah.
fair.
Looking on the internet, it's not a very popular one, just because again,
It's
battle
just a bit
sharks aren't
meh.
exactly
Yeah,
not what I think I wanted it to be.
I think they're already too easy to pass personally.
Yeah.
So making it even easier.
And maybe
to
now
pass.
with the actions, it might come into a bit more of it getting whirlwinded.
And also, I can't remember if I don't know if you would get it as a +1/+1. Templars, are they +1 or are they just leadership 5?
A bit of Leadership 5.
So they just start at leader. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they'd be like 4s.
But I think
So
most
you're all
people
in
go
one.
for the Gladius in that.
Yeah.
The usual Space Marines.
Because that's you're never gonna fail that, are you?
No. Unless you're me. So I'm sure I failed.
Including a reroll.
I'm pretty sure I did.
I actually used, and we may have time to discuss our games later, but I actually used the auto pass the other day strategically to be
Oh,
like,
nice.
I am scarred from that tournament where I failed all my battle shocks in one go. I was like,
you
that's an
went for use
important
it.
unit over there. I know I need to like keep them.
Is this on your weekend?
Yeah, yeah.
We will talk about that then in...
If we've got time.
Yeah, fairly
'cause
that-
I don't want to rush into it.
I think next episode we're talking more about your weekend.
But yeah.
Your filthy weekend away.
Yeah.
Lots of nakedness.
Okay, so leadership one, Warlord, yeah.
Who really cares? Hidden supplies, again, same as last time. Was that the Jordan Ritual Primary Mission card? Discard this one.
Oh, so it's an additional one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it is. Adapt or die.
I like the sound already.
Yeah, this one. Once per battle. Oh, is this... Okay, so this got fixed and tactical. So different...
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Which
I remember this one now. Fixed could be... Again, I think most people are saying tactical is probably be a way to play even tournaments now rather than fixed.
yeah, a lot of people I've heard that.
This gives fixed people something. So, once per battle, at the end of that player's turn, after scoring any VP, they can discard one of their secondary mission cards and replace it with another secondary card that has the fixed symbol. So, you got a assassination.
Literally, yeah.
Maybe not actually can score that. If you got one fixed one that you think I ain't going to score this anymore, you can go, okay, I'm going to bin that off. Draw another one. So there's a little bit of leeway, like you can't just be paid off it or something.
Yeah, I can see why that would be really useful in a fix because, you know, say you've got like assassinate or take it down or something like that.
Yeah.
Bring it down. You've got
A whirlwind
You
at
know,
the back camping.
or you just run out of vehicles.
Yeah, I
and
think
you
if you
go.
I think bring it down assassination. If they've run out of people, I think you still score a set amount each turn.
Oh.
I think I might be wrong.
Oh wow, that's probably just going to be.
Yeah, I think that's always the case. I don't know. We never use fix, so
No, I don't think it was. Because that's why people count their vehicles up.
no, maybe.
You get it for. I think assassination you get it for. I don't think you get it for vehicle.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. Right, yeah. So yeah, think it down. You've got that one guy camping of whirlwind at the back because they're stupid and use indirect rules, which I hate.
Well, that's something that we're going to come on to in a bit.
Matt.
Well, I'm actually quite pleased with the indirect changes.
Yeah, I prefer it.
Might as well discuss them now rather than just leave
The indirect rule?
later. Yeah, so obviously the rules commentary, which was released the other week, has essentially made it so that indirect now, regardless of modifiers or anything like that, you can only ever hit on a 4+, 4, 5, or 6. So there's lots of things out there. I think Death Guard are one of them. You can do like really crazy stuff and end up indirecting on 2+, and all sorts of crazy
Space Marines
stuff.
with a whirlwind. It's heavy, is it? So +1, and then you get a Tech Marine to bless it.
Yeah. Which basically means, it's ridiculous, and that's not the intent. Makes it very uninteractive. You just sit at the back and just go, right, roll.
Indirect's
roll,
meant to be,
roll.
I can't see where I'm shooting. I think doing that area.
Yeah.
I'm going to not. They're over there somewhere. Oh, I've pinpointed exactly where they are.
Yeah. And I understand, technology is like really, really advanced at this point, but it's not fun to play against.
No, I wouldn't mind so much if they could do that, but they had to have someone spot for them. Like maybe that would be because I understand the thematics of it, but still.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
I mean, to be honest, for me, I think the old blast scatter dice were excellent.
Games Workshop, bring it back.
Yeah,
bring back the scatter.
So for those of you who don't know, you used to have a disc shape, and you used to have what's called a scatter die, which is a dice that basically had arrows on it, and two of those sides had like a bullseye symbol, didn't it? So you'd roll the scatter dice, you'd roll another dice with it, and then you'd put the template where you'd do the template first.
You put it over one guy, don't you? And
over somewhere on the battlefield, usually, and there's different versions of this rule, but usually over one person in that squad, and then you roll the d6 and the scatter dice, and then it would move the number of inches in the direction that the arrow was then pointing, the number of inches on the d6. So whatever that kind of was over at that point, which was beautiful because you could also hit your own guys.
Yeah.
Or you could, and flame templates are another thing. You could kind of just go, right, I'm putting it over there. You've got you guys really, and it was a deterrent to putting you guys too close together. It was very much blast as it is today in terms of, you've got a squad of 20 or you blob together. It was very much a deterrent against that because, of course, if you blob together, you're more likely to get like an entire template of like 20 guys. Yeah, I would love them to bring that back.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
And I think... But I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty certain it was 2d6 before on indirect.
I think that sounds familiar.
Yeah, so much more likely to go further.
Did
Because
they
obviously
have
they can't see, can they?
the risk of misfiring or not?
I think that is old Warhammer fantasy.
Because I know Old World had it and Fantasy definitely had it because the catapults could implode.
I think orc weapons used to be able to do that. They could potentially blow you up.
Now it's just hazardous.
So just a little side note just for people out there. We might talk about this in a minute, but I've just started a new book, and it's a orc war boss who basically goes into Camorra. He attacks Camorra, which is a really cool book so far. But he basically has this giant, like, crazy force hammer, chucks it around, and doesn't want to go and pick it up. So he got his, like, big mech to, like, his mech boy to basically make it a teleporter, so he could just, like, kind of click his fingers and get it back. And he has this moment, he chucks it, and then, like, he gets it, but it doesn't, like, appear in his hand. It appears in, like, the orc behind him.
But in him?
So it's just, like, four limbs just go, and he catches his hammer, like, and everybody just laughs. Because, obviously, orcs think it's funny.
Did you do that? All right, stop. Hammer time. Should have.
So, yeah, slight moment there. But what were we talking about? We were talking about...
I can't remember. I generally can't remember.
It doesn't really matter.
Go on to the next one.
Yeah,
okay, so tactical. Twice per battle, after drawing a secondary mission card, that player can draw another secondary mission card, then shuffle one of those two secondary mission cards back into their deck.
Okay, so that's the option to
and it says shuffle. So
oh.
You have to shuffle the deck. And...
So are we discarding the missions still?
Just go back. I can draw. No, just go. I think some are different now. I think there's different words. One says discard, some say shuffle.
Okay. Because it'd be interesting, because obviously, say once you've got deploy teleport homers, the previous version, you're thinking, well, I've done that now. I don't need to worry about that again.
Yeah.
But if you're putting it back into your deck...
Once you've done them, you discard them.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's just some cards make you redraw or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's that one. Prepared position. So this is the battle line one. So players can target their battle line units with the go to ground and heroic intervention stratagems for a 0 CP. Cannot do so if they have already used this stratagem. It's just lost your codex.
Nothing to see here. It's all good. It's all good. We'll have to sort of fish those out the back of the sofa later.
That's our high end set that is.
Yeah. Just lost half our codexes.
It's only Imperial, no one cares. So battle line, you get to use go to ground and heroic intervention for free.
So battle line, so I heard about this and I actually thought this was a really cool thing, especially for those units that aren't Space Marines.
Yeah.
So it actually makes it more viable for, 5 up, 4 up armor saves to then become a 3 up, because obviously you can get cover with Space Marines, but you don't get down to a 2. You just get to ignore the first pip of AP, don't you?
Yeah.
So still beneficial, but not as beneficial as going from a 5 to a 4. And if it's
the odds
free,
just change dramatically, don't they?
Yeah.
You're good in maths. You always go to what's the probability of this,
massive.
and yeah, it's
Massive,
quite a big.
Yeah. So, and being able to do it for free, why wouldn't you? You just would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah.
Well, once per turn at least. So that's that one.
Yeah.
This one I like because it's called Fog of War,
Okay.
and this is like Dawn of War style. Like when you're playing a game you can't see.
Okay.
So in the first round of battle, units have the benefit of cover, and players cannot use core stratagems, excluding the new orders. So the core stratagems, I'm guessing that's reroll.
Yes. Yeah. I know the ones. Yeah.
Work intervention, stuff like that.
Cover.
Well, you can't in first turn anyway.
Yeah. Go to ground.
But yeah, to get the benefit of cover for everyone.
So that's almost like it used to be like nighttime fighting, wasn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So it was like the first 2 turns, I think, before
Yeah,
or one.
but this is just one round.
Okay.
So it gives you a bit of like...
So just cover.
Just cover.
Everybody gets cover.
Yeah, so again, for like your guys who are
Yeah.
T3,
That's really good for melee armies. Melee armies would
Yeah.
love that one, though.
they can run around and get in position when they need to.
Yeah.
So I like that one. Mission 4, Rapid Escalation. So this one... The game I had a weekend to play this one. It came up and it's interesting. So in the first battle round, each player can set up battle line units from strategic reserves in the reinforcement step of their movement phases. If they do, those units must be set up wholly within 6 inches of any battlefield edge, but no model in those units can be set up within enemy deployment zone. So depending on the battle size, if you've got incursion, 200 points.
Yeah.
Strike force, 200. Onslaught.
So when
400.
can you set it up? Sorry.
In the first battle round.
So they come early.
Yeah.
Ah.
So in the first round, each player can set up a battle line, from strategic reserves reinforcement step.
So it really is. It's definitely starting to feel a bit more, certainly more encouraging for battle line units.
Because again, you said it, a battle line should be the.
It should be the
core troops,
shouldn't
isn't
Yeah.
it? That's you don't go over an army.
It's interesting actually because I'm wondering if we're moving into a infantry heavy meta.
Possible, isn't it? I haven't seen any of the big tournament players what they're saying about. They're guessing.
Yeah. We'll see because it's brand new, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be good. I think there's going to be new tournaments coming out this weekend. I imagine where.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I think you can basically throw all the old data out the window.
Yeah.
Because there's new missions, there's new points. No one's got like any idea what anything
changes
does.
to the.
Yeah, you've got massive changes to the actual
mortal
rules.
wounds.
Yeah.
A big one, Sadmech.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're looking across the board, like the armies have changed, the points have changed, the way you play has changed. So all the data that's previously been like put out there is arguably useless at this point until they're starting to do tournaments again, and you're getting like steady data from those. We're not going to know.
So this is off subject for a bit. Well, from what you've read of the changes, do you think they're good? Good for the game or not?
I don't know enough about the missions. I think the missions sound good from what you've told me so far. I think the rules commentary stuff, yeah, definitely. And certainly when we come to things like the stratagems, I thought they were really nicely point changed.
Yeah.
There is one thing that I didn't particularly like, and actually it came up in my game, one of my games on the weekend, and that was, the CP,
The aura.
Yeah, you've got it. So there was a change to the CP, and we'll go into a bit more detail later and specifically read the words for it. But essentially, it's the abilities that the characters get, whereby they used to change those CP values to 0. Now they -1, don't they?
Oh, you're on about that one.
Yeah. However, you get the opposite version. So what is considered colloquially as vecting someone. So basically it increases the cost of stratagems. Now, this used to be, if, say, and I'm thinking specifically Drukari, if you have an Archon on the board and you played a stratagem, what I could then do is go, that's now going to cost you +1 every time you use that stratagem.
Usually it's going to be Overwatch or Reroll.
So this is where it was. This is where it's better now. So obviously that used to that got nerfed in the previous version to only battle tactics. So I couldn't increase the cost on anything. It had to be battle tactics stuff. So they've now retconned that. They've taken that back. So it doesn't have to be battle tactics anymore.
So in terms of battle tactics, just because I can't remember the colours, and those people probably not know who pay 40k.
It just had to say battle tactics on it.
Are they green?
I think the colour coding is to do when you can use them.
Is
so
that
your
what it is?
opponent's turn,
Right.
my turn.
I always thought they would like to check out. There's how much I know.
Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty
Quote
certain
him on
that's
that.
what it is, anyway, the way that it works now, which is kind of interesting, and when I first saw it, and this is why I try not to say anything to begin with in new editions, is because when I first saw that, I was like, they've ruined this skill. This is terrible now, because what it does now is you get your Archon, you put him on the board, and he's got a 12-inch aura, and any stratagems that they use within 12 inches of him are just +1 CP, which sounds good, but then when you realise your Archon is quite squishy, and you don't
want him in the middle.
You don't want him you don't even want him standing on the board. You never want him on the board. So previously, I always found it quite difficult anyway to get the Vect off, because he was never on the board. And secondly, like you then had to go through the battle tactic thing. But now he has to be kind of standing in the middle.
So he's going to be a target.
Yeah.
Has he got lone up?
No.
So suddenly you've got 12-inch range. Your lone ups, you've got to be within range to not have your lone up.
Yeah.
Kick off, but
he doesn't have lone up anyway. But
so he's a target.
Yeah. I mean, there's enhancements and stuff that you can work around that. But if you're playing the way I want to play with my Dark Elder, I don't want to let you shoot at me.
Yeah.
So I don't, I might send him in, do some combat, and then run away, and so you don't get the chance to do anything. But at that point, you're not doing the stratagem.
Yeah.
But actually, weirdly, it worked like 5 times, and it basically probably like half won me the game.
So what you thought might be a bit of a shitter is actually
it turned out to be quite good. Yeah.
I suppose that's nice. It's not just talking about one stratagem. It's if you're in a building and I'm on the other side of the building, but I'm trying to, I don't know, do grenades. Suddenly that's into another unit. It's not even affecting that guy.
Yeah.
That tells me to. Then over on the other side of him, I've got someone else who I want to go to ground. I can't now because it's going to have to.
Yeah.
Or I've got to choose now between one or the other.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It became impossible for my opponent to use those skills because it was like he had 1 CP and then he was like, well, I can't do it now.
So do you think we'll get people then? Because obviously a lot of people take anti-deep striking, 12-inch range. Characters to plant around. Will people do this with these characters? Well, how many is there in an army? I don't really know.
He's your main war boss. You could take 3. You wouldn't probably want to take 3, but
is he the only guy who can do that? I suppose there's not many people that can do that. So yeah.
I think there are other. I think the Calidus assassin does it as well.
Yeah,
but then she has lone op, and you definitely don't want her. So I'm not sure how useful that's going to be. But then it's tricky, isn't it? Because if that 12-inch range is fine, but Overwatch, for example, is
24 inches.
24 inches, yeah. So running up, you get a chance to Overwatch, and you might have wanted to negate that Overwatch by putting them close.
Yeah, I suppose Overwatch you're hitting on 6s, and if you've got a flamer, and if you're within 12 inches of the flamer, it's going to cost you.
Yeah,
double
but
now to flame.
being an elf player, like, I do not like Overwatch
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form. It just deletes stuff. I just have terrible experiences with it. Like, Space Marines will just shrug it off. It's not an issue for them, but
Yeah, but Space Marines don't get much in the game, so they need something. We've touched on this a few times, haven't we?
yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, no, yeah, really cool change with the rules commentary for
Yeah.
that one. And obviously we can go into more as I suppose it's quite useful to just talk about it as they come up.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Oh, I think they're good
We've already
changes.
talked about a couple of them, but yeah.
I like the changes. I think they all seem... And the feedback from a lot of people on internet, which is usually where people hate everything.
Yeah.
It seems to be positive, which is nice for once.
Yeah, that's good.
Everyone seems to like the changes.
Yeah. No, it's nice seeing that. It's just nice having a bit of a mix-up, I think.
Yeah.
Having different things to play with. And I think it was becoming a little bit stagnant because everybody kind of had the best things.
It's been like a little bit of a shake-up, so it's quite nice.
Yeah. We'll see good things out of it.
Yeah, I think so. So next one, another Battle Line one. So this is where it comes into having maybe wolves or some melee armies might have this. Battle Line units, it's called Swift Action. Battle Line units that advance or fall back are still eligible to perform action in that.
Okay, so Battle Line are definitely getting...
And
so these are your main missions then?
Mission rules.
Okay.
So this is like you got...
So
some tournaments
on
have
which
2.
one you pull.
Yeah. Some tournaments have 2 in play, some have 1.
Okay.
So maybe some of them have 2 battle lines, or maybe you can shoot. And
Yeah.
this one came up in one of our games as well, which is called Raise Banners.
Okay.
This is a nice one. So at the end of each player's turn, if a battle line unit from their army is within range of an objective marker that player controls, that unit raises a banner on that objective marker. That player scores 1 VP, which is counted towards their secondary mission score, and that player's units can no longer raise banners on that objective marker.
That specific unit?
This is where we were discussing this, a few of the guys I was talking about the cards too. Does that mean that only that unit can't put an objective on that, can't raise a banner on that objective, so they can rotate around?
Well, that's what it's at. Can I have a look?
Yeah.
At the end of each player's turn, if a battle line unit from their army is within range of an objective marker that player controls, that unit raises a banner on that objective marker. Interesting, you don't have to do an action. That player scores 1 VP, which is counted towards their secondary mission score, and that player's unit can no longer raise a banner on that objective marker. I think you can just send loads of people around.
Yeah, like rotate them around. And,
Yeah.
And I think with 1 VP, they've done this for a reason.
Because you can do that.
Yeah, and some of the cards, like Bring It Down, have gone down a VP. So you used to get 3 VP for like small vehicles or something.
Oh, yes.
So now it's 2 VP, but this could actually make it then.
Yeah, so interesting.
3.
That's only useful with battle line, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's battle line unit from their army in range of an objective marker.
So again, if you're...
And you have to control it.
Yeah.
Ah.
So if you've got an elite army, suddenly your opponent's got a bit of advantage to get a few little points now and then.
So
I think sometimes we've had games where it's been like a couple of points in it.
Yeah.
So that could potentially bring you to a win or a draw.
Yeah.
So I think that's a nice little one. There's a few more. I can go through the deck if you want to see the others.
So do you think that's better or worse for... so obviously you got your heavy duty elite armies that have more likelihood to be able to go there and stand there and, take a beating on the objective marker. Or the sort of weaker, cheaper troops that have lots of different things that could go and stand on it, and then the next one could stand on it, and the next one could stand on it. Because obviously the one's going to actually be able to stand there and not have too much of an issue. The other one's going to have to
It's only the end of your turn, so it's not like you got to live to the next turn. So you could just have wave and wave and wave of battle line. Send them up, they die. Send another one up.
Yeah.
But then suppose you only get 1 VP and you're losing.
Yeah, units for it. But then it is points.
Yeah. You guys play, haven't you?
It's interesting, that one. I don't know what would be optimal.
So we go through. That's the secret. That's in secondary.
We would like to know your thoughts if anybody out there has any ideas on what they think would be better in that situation.
Another battle line one. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So this is the one that most people probably like. Maybe coming tournaments, maybe.
Okay.
Stalwarts. Battle line units that perform an action are still eligible to shoot in that turn.
Yeah.
But cannot start to perform another action in that turn. And battle line units can perform actions while within engagement range of one or more enemies.
So what does that mean?
Usually you do an action, you can't shoot.
Yeah.
Now you can with battle line, so you can do the action and shoot out.
Okay.
And now if you perform actions whilst within engagement range of one or more enemy units. So also if you're in combat on it,
You can still do the action
and fight.
Okay. Probably really good for orcs.
Yeah.
Stuff that wants to be in combat anyway.
Yeah.
You just
A little bit of incentive, I suppose, to,
Yeah.
I suppose because they can't just give it like, if you hold it, you're shooting, you go, well, what about me? I've got no guns. So I guess I balanced it for that way.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
cool.
And I suppose previously you'd probably be able to just stand on there. People would get in combat. You wouldn't care if they got in combat with you because you'd be like, well, you can't do an action whilst you're in combat with me, so you have to at least wipe me. So that's going to take you a turn, and then you're going to have to do an action next turn, which gives me a chance to. Whereas if you can do it in combat, none of that's happening. You just jump in, go.
Just survive. I think that's it for the mission rules by the looks of it. I was speaking away from the microphone then. Probably got none of that. But tough. I've said it. Another new thing then. So gambits have gone.
Yes, so there's something to do with secret missions.
Yeah, because no one used gambits.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Did you ever look at them? I can't tell you what they are.
So I'll tell you what I did. I looked at them and I didn't know how they worked, so I've never used them.
I think a lot of people.
And the ones that I did understand, I thought, I'm never going to be able to do that.
No, this one, can be quite hard, but it's quite nice what you can do with them.
Okay.
So one of them is called Shatter Cohesion. So at this point, you can only remember you have to be end of your third turn, and you have to be losing to be able to do a secret mission. You have to
be losing.
I think that's the wording. I can't remember the
Interesting.
I think you got to be on the losing. Not even just in primaries. I think it's just losing. We'll double check that and rectify it if need be.
So all secret missions, you have to already be losing.
Yeah, and then you choose. So we're playing as usual. You're whooping me. I've got no way now. I can either carry on to primary, or if I'm going, this ain't going to happen. I can't catch up.
Yeah.
I get to look at these.
Oh, you can pick one.
Pick one.
You can just. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets good because you can play mind games.
Yeah.
So, Shatter Cohesion. Secret mission. So when end of battle, which is where you get the points, you get 20 victory points if there are no units on your opponent's army on the battlefield.
Okay, so it's kill everything.
Total.
Yeah,
table them. Or every unit from your opponent's army that is on the battlefield meets one or more of the following conditions. A unit is battle shocked. A unit is below half strength. That unit is more than 3 inches away from all objective markers. So if you can't table them, but you can make sure that either
the battle shocked, half dead,
or
not away from objective markers. Yeah. Okay.
Then you get 20 points. So you get 20 VP for either of them. Not both.
So is it an
secret mission? You only get 20 VP.
Well, no, I'm just curious. So if you are battle shocked but near an objective marker, would that cancel it?
I don't think so. It has army about meets one or more, so it has to meet only one.
Okay.
So as long as the battle shocked.
Okay.
No matter.
See, that's not too difficult to do.
No.
Because mine and P's game the other day, I won, but my army was like dying at that point. If we'd have carried on playing, probably would have been. I'd have just been hanging on.
Yeah.
And that could have been quite easily met.
So it gives you options. Again, and Tyranny to have that cause battle shocks across.
That's actually really hard because if you do grab that one, it's one or more. So even if you try and run away and you're not on an objective marker,
if you're used below half strength, you've already got it as well.
So you have to stay on objective markers.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Obviously, your opponent don't know this either.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So this is where the mind games come in, right? So another one is War of Attrition.
So do I know that you've picked a secret one?
No. I think so. Ooh, I don't know. I haven't read this.
Because otherwise you'd have to keep pretending to take tacticals out.
Yeah, I think you do know you got a secret mission because this is where the mind games come in, if I remember reading this. And this is because... So another one. This is battle line again.
Yeah.
So one or more battle lines units from your army are within your opponent's deployment zone. And one of the following conditions applies. There are no battle line units on your opponent's army on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So elite armies, potentially 20 VP.
So you just stand in there, your battle line, stand in the opponent's.
Yeah, one or more battle line units from your Every battle line unit from your opponent's army that is on the battlefield is within your opponent's deployment zone.
All of yours?
From all your opponent's battle line units are in their
Oh, okay.
deployment zone.
So they have to move out.
Yeah, so I guess you try and push them back. So that's war attrition. Unbroken wall. So again, you control 3 or more objective markers.
Sorry, are all these 20 points?
Everything,
Everything,
yeah,
okay.
20 points. Just because I think the 40 VP is the max on a primary.
Okay.
Is that right? 50 secondary, 40 primary, 10 for all painted,
I don't
or
know.
something like that. Something like that. So this one is control 3 or more objective markers that are not within your deployment zone. So control no man's land. By the end of the battle.
Or your opponents as well.
Just and we don't, didn't read that. And this one, command insertion. Your warlord is within range of 1 or more objective markers in your opponent's deployment zone.
Oh, so that's where your warlord
That you
comes
control.
in. Okay, so you have to get your warlord in there.
In there, control the objective marker.
So again, interestingly, you don't know what they've got, do you?
No. So this is where you can do mind games, because suddenly I'm trying to push you off objective markers, but at the same time, running my warlord.
It's going to be really hard to remember, though, isn't it? Because you're going to have to remember what those are as an opponent. Because you need to know, well, what do I need to not do or prevent you from doing?
Just
I need to research this every time before I go to bed.
And if you do research it, if suddenly they're trying to kill your battle lines,
Yeah.
but at the same time they're running their warlord up.
Yeah.
Which one are they doing?
Yeah.
Who do you stop?
Well, I mean, the beauty as well is you get to choose it. So if you've only got your warlord left, previously you'd have been like, well, I'll pick the battle line one.
Yeah.
But now you can go, well, I've got my warlord. I can send my warlord here.
So it's nice. I like them. I think they might get used a bit.
Yeah, no, they seem good. I'd definitely say they were more interesting, definitely, because the other ones I didn't know how they worked. They weren't clear. They were almost impossible to do.
If the opponent's got no battle line units, suddenly the war of attrition, there are no battle line units on your opponent's army on the battlefield, and all you've got to do is get 1 or more battle line units from your army within their deployment.
Yeah.
You just leg it up there.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you might even be in the middle or in their thing to begin with.
Yeah. Save.
And they might be miles away the other end doing the same to
Scouts battle line?
No, I don't think so.
Grey Knights can teleport. They're Terminators.
And hyperphase Necrons can.
Hyperphase Necrons.
Can GSC, do you know?
I've not come
I
across them.
haven't. Got a funny feeling they can. To be fair, you could probably be really nasty and do like, I know you. You know the destroyed ones where they go into reserve.
Oh, when you come back.
Yeah, I know this has changed recently in our recent.
Oh, the swarms, yeah.
But essentially, I don't know if the rule is you come back next turn or they're put into reserve. So you could hold them back for when you wanted to bring them into the. Because that would be impossible to stop, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I suppose you have to screen out the your battle line, your back end.
Interesting.
Your backside. So that's the secret missions. So I'll quickly run through the secondaries.
Yep.
So a few of them have stayed behind enemy lines. That's all the same now, isn't it? Yeah. Behind enemy lines, though, I think that was one that you could probably have to use. That one you had to keep if you drew it first turn.
I think behind enemy lines was possible.
It's not anymore.
Okay.
Finally.
That's good because that was always really annoying.
Yeah.
It was technically possible for some armies.
Some armies could.
But it was just awkward because you're just like, well,
I think I saw
I'm very unlikely to do it. And even if you do, you just you're going to throw a unit away to do it. And
I think Vanguard Tactics did it because he just went for it.
Yeah.
And I think he got it, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Cleanse is now in action. Assassination.
So just the same. Kill characters.
Yeah, same again. 4 and 5. Secure no man's land. Same as last time.
What's the one with investigate?
So I have put it out somewhere. Engage on all fronts is the same. Extend battle lines is the same.
Yeah.
Area denial is the same. Bring it down. Bring it down's changed.
This is making me feel better because obviously
a lot of them
we've only just learned. Well, I feel like I'm only just kind of coming to grips with them.
I think there's only like 4 or 5 new ones.
That's good. Yeah,
and a few of them are just the same, but they've
just changed slightly, tweaked a little bit.
So bring it down's changed. This is good for tower players.
Yeah, so me and you like this one, don't we?
Yeah, we like this. Yeah, because you've got your dark-haired eyes.
So
sisters.
is it, I think it's more for like walkers.
Yeah.
Like units of walkers or units of vehicles. Because it's now the unit, isn't it? It's
not the model.
Yeah. Which is much... I think that's better.
Yeah.
It put you off taking light vehicles.
I feel like that's maybe built like they meant it to be like.
Yeah.
And
they accidentally writ it
off.
model. Yeah.
And it's also worth less now as well. So, before it was like 2, 6, 8 points or something.
Yeah, I think we worked it out, didn't we?
Yeah, so now you get each time an enemy monster or vehicle unit is destroyed to your VP. If the total wounds characteristics of the models in that destroyed unit was 15 plus at strike strength, you just get extra 2.
Yeah.
And the total wound characteristics of models in that was destroyed was 20 plus 2.
Yeah.
So I know that stacks up to like 6.
Yeah, so total of 6.
So it's no longer like ridiculous points. So like that.
And that makes a lot more sense as well, because if you're taking like a massive group of vehicles and they're really heavy vehicles, you're working harder to take those down, aren't you? So you should get more points for that.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like if it's an easy vehicle, like, 1 wound or 4 wounds or something is.
And you shouldn't be punished for playing little like Tau, the Retaliation Cadre or Cardo, whatever you come out and say.
Yeah.
You can't play it because
yeah.
And the only thing about that now is they got no battle line. There's no if you take full, you can't take full mech. You have to take some sort of battle line.
So it's still a choice, and it's not as rubbish to take something like that.
No, but I just like going thematic, so I'll just go full mech.
But that's what I mean. Like that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It means it's more. You can take an army that you like a little bit more, as opposed to being like, oh, I can't take this because, I'm then giving it away too many VP for taking loads of like the army I want to take.
Yeah.
Which is nice because it's more.
It is nice. It is
fluffy,
nice.
More nicer.
So I think the Investigate Signals is now called, I forget what, Containment.
Yeah.
So your shooting phase is an action.
Yeah.
1 or more units from your army that is wholly within 9 inches of 1 or more battlefield edges and not within your deployment zone.
Okay, so it's not corner. It's
not
edge.
Corner. I think they've worked out that people were just either holding back or having to run back, and it takes the momentum of the game.
Yeah, well, corner's much harder to do, isn't it?
And wholly within as well, where at least now it's a table edge.
Yeah.
And even getting his first turn, it happened in the game we had. It's good points to start with, but it also means you're holding people 2 units back because you want to get both edges.
Yeah.
So it gives your opponent like a little respite to.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of give and take. So it was good. I like that.
Yeah, because well, actually, so if you had Dawn, do we still have Dawn of War?
The map, yes.
Okay, so that one you could instantly get like 3 though, couldn't you? You get a 3 in.
Is that the?
So that's lengthways.
Yeah, you got to be 9 inches outside of your deployment zone.
For that?
Yeah. So 1 or more units from your army that are holding within 9 inches of 1 or more battlefield edges. Oh no, sorry, no, not within your deployment zone.
You could start with everything within 3.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
So pull it on the first turn is the strategy.
Yeah, but then also your opponent's got 3 less units shooting at them. And table edge, you might be in the open.
Maybe.
So yeah, I think it's better for give and take, so it's good.
Maybe, yeah. But
it's
then
nice
3, how many do you get for 3?
Up to 6 VP, so you only want 2 really. 3 VP for each battlefield edge.
Okay. Oh, wow. So you don't even get a massive...
No.
Oh, that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, but this is where the battle line extra point coming in stacks up.
Okay.
They've like lowered the points, but then...
Do battle line get more for each one?
Not for this one.
Okay.
But you've got the store wall and all of that
to
add to it. Establish locus. So this is your shooting phase, 1 unit from your army. End of your turn, if that unit is within your opponent's deployment zone or within 6 inches of the centre battlefield. So that's the same as deploy teleport Homer.
Yes.
It's just called establish locus now.
Okay, it's exactly the same.
Exactly the same, but just is an action. Mark for death. This is a great one.
Yep.
I love this one. So, your opponent must select 3 units from their army on the battlefield. If there are only 2 units from their army on the battlefield, they must select those units. If there are no units in the army on the battlefield, discard, and draw a new one.
Yep.
So
there's no enemy units.
So what it does though is you get 5 VP for one or more selected units were destroyed, you get 5 VP. So you're choosing 3 of your guys to get shot at.
Yes.
So you could either go, I'm going to give you the 5 VP, shoot these little
I'd rather
ones.
you killed them
Yeah.
than this other thing that I need.
Or you go, right, my Land Raider.
Take the heavy thing.
Take it, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite good. That possibly brings in things like drop pods.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of annoying, like things to take out and not usually worth shooting at.
Suddenly now it's worth something.
Yeah.
Ain't taking the fire away.
And things like rhinos, it just makes them even more
guessing
useful.
that's basically tempting target, 0.2.
Well, it's unit specific,
Yeah.
isn't it, rather than objective?
Rather objective. But
Yeah, that's good. I like
just
that.
chooses.
And it's 5 per thing that
No,
you kill.
it's just 5 VP.
Total.
So I think it's just 5 VP.
If you kill all 3.
No, just 1.
Wow, that's not hard to do though, is it?
It sounds like it's not, but if you're choosing my whirlwind at the back, you're not going to get to it.
Yeah.
My Tech Marine next to the whirlwind,
Yeah.
and then my guys.
The other whirlwind next to that
You
one.
can't get or you can't see line of sight from first floor. So then,
Yeah.
so now you got to get in melee range to.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it can be easy, it can be hard. You could sort of maybe dictate where you want someone to rapid ingress.
Yeah.
Like that unit, I know you need it. I'm not going to put any screening around it.
I mean, that's a very tactical one.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to take that away personally and
Have a look into it.
mull on it. What's it called? Meditate on it.
James will do the maths.
I just don't know.
So now there's one for. We spoke about this. That's why in the group chat you mentioned it.
Yeah.
So bring it down's great. You've got going over vehicles. You're going against orcs. They've got a horde. You now get points for killing a horde. So each time an enemy infantry unit is destroyed, you get 5 VP. So starting strength for the destroyed units was 20 plus, or the total wound characteristics of the models in a unit were 25 plus at starting strength. You've said at least that people are thinking, well, we'll just take 19.
Yeah.
It's a valid option. If you're going to do that, then that's. I think Pete said it quite well. That's not someone I want to play with then.
Yeah.
And most people, again online, people seem to say, I'm just going to take 20.
I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because if it's a legal option, people are probably going to do it, and you can't really say you can't. But you probably need like a gentleman's handshake and just be like, nah, that's a bit naughty, really.
If they do that, though, and you can't do this objective, you do discard it and draw another one.
Okay, that's better.
So, yeah, if you can't do it, same as bring it down, I think if you can't do that,
Yeah.
discard is the key word again, so it's going out the game.
So naughty.
2 last ones then. Terrain's coming into it.
Okay.
Sabotage. So, 1 unit from your army that is within terrain feature and not within your deployment zone.
Yeah.
You just go, it's an action, I'm going to sabotage this terrain. Complete end of your opponent's next turn, or the end of battle. You get the points for it. You get 3 VP. If your unit committed to sabotage this turn and is not within your deployment zone, or you get 6 VP if you do it within your opponent's deployment zone. People have been saying for thematic reasons, if you do it, take the terrain off.
Oh,
It's meant to be like the terrain's blown up. You sabotaged it.
Okay.
That's not how you play it, but people are saying house rules.
Or take it away and put like a smaller,
Maybe, yeah.
like not ruins anymore. It's like just rubble or
crater.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I was thinking like sabotages in like booby traps and stuff. So when your opponent comes and like stands in it, they
Yeah.
then get minus like D3 mortal wounds or something.
Like the old objective random objectives.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was seeing in my
you get
own.
dangerous to objective or something.
Yeah. I know. I can't remember
I can't remember
what it's called.
It was back when I used to play, so that was ages ago.
It was a cool one though.
Last one then, we cover assets. So it starts a shoot phase against an action. So you need to get 2 or more units from your army. If each of those units is wholly within a different one of the following areas: your deployment zone, no man's land, and your opponent's deployment zone. Then at the end of your opponent's next turn, or the end of battle, if either 2 or 3 of those units are on the battlefield, you get the points. You're recovering the assets.
Okay.
So you need to keep basically 2 units. You have to do an action. 1 in your deployment zone, I'm guessing. Then the other one in no man's land or your opponent's deployment zone. If they're both alive, at the end of your opponent's turn, you get the points.
Okay.
Makes them a target.
Yeah.
The game I had a weekend, he did it just because I was too busy engaging with people.
So picking a moment.
Yeah, he had a squad in terrain on the one hand side, so I couldn't even see him. And he had you guys in deployment zone, so he got it first turn, I think.
Yeah, that's going to help.
So
probably,
just move out doing it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
they sound good.
I like them.
They sound good. I'm looking forward to getting my own pack.
It's a bit more interactive now. That's what it seems. You've got to do an action, so then you're now stuck.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Doing that, so the other person's now got a chance to react to you doing that action, to either let you do it or focus fire and stop you.
Yeah, and I think it sounds a bit more. I think some of them are you can do it. You get points for doing it, and then you get more points if your opponent doesn't stop you. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of the general consensus. So if you ignore that unit whilst they're still doing that, you're
giving them points.
Yeah, more points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is actually something else I did on the weekend. Is I denied someone getting Defend Stronghold, which basically just meant that they just kept that card and they just kept keeping the card, which was...
Well, they didn't even get rid of it.
Well, there was a good expectation to keep it, and then I just kept being like, have this unit.
So you just sacrificing people out to sway them up.
Which just meant, that wasn't scored. They couldn't then pull another card, which just reduced the amount that my opponent could achieve, which was... I was quite pleased with that tactic.
Crafty.
It might be worth maybe just going to the rules commentary quickly.
Yeah.
And then we can do the pledges in a minute.
Do you know what's the latest news? Is there quick headlines?
So obviously you had the Sisters Codex and the GSC Codex.
GSC Codex.
That's it, Gene Stealer. Cool. That's the word I was looking for. I was trying not to abbreviate or... Yeah, so obviously those two codexes...
Lizard people.
Funky alien humans have dropped, and they... Well, I don't know anything about the GSC Codex. I've had a quick read of the Sisters Codex. It's very cool. There's lots of different things that you can do with it. It seems really thematic. You've got lots of, say you can take penitent stuff. You can take just which is why I liked that thing with the vehicles, because there's a kind of... You can take loads of penitent engines and more to...
Morgan Val.
I can't remember the thing, but yeah, obviously you got more... Not Morgan Ra.
Morgan Val?
Morven Val.
Morven Val.
And her penitent... God, they're called.
If you haven't gone against Morven Val or penitent engines, they are horrible. They're the things that shoot back at you if you kill them.
Everything can do that anyway. But yeah, so it's a really, really good codex with lots of options, and you can play it in lots of different ways. You can take vehicle heavy, you can take combat heavy, or you can take flyer units. And the fly ones are really cool because they've got if you use a stratagem on that unit, then anything within 3 inches of them then gets that same stratagem on them. Yeah, you've got so much stuff. It just seems like a really fun codex. They did get hit, in my personal opinion, quite heavy on the points, which was to be expected because the codex is strong. But whether that will... Who knows what
Looking at the battle reports that they did when they first came out, you get the people doing the early access.
That was without the points though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they were hammering. Sisters were hammering everything.
So based on the previous points, absolutely.
So we'll see.
Based on the new points and the changes with the whole rules and the commentary, because the other thing that the Sisters Codex was really good for was most of their stuff was battle tactics. So they had, I think they've given the Canoness the ability to do that -1 CP, which at the time was 0 CP, and obviously that was usable on battle tactics, so that made them absolutely brilliant. Now everybody gets that, so that's less like, oh my god, they get to do it on everything. They do get to do it on everything, but everybody else also still gets that skill now. But yeah, no, real fun codex. I'm loving the idea of using it. I haven't had a chance to use it, and I haven't read a lot of it, but love the change, and I love the ability to sort of switch up my playstyle, because it was getting a bit samey.
Yeah, it's the same for you as well, because you've been obviously did a tournament and you played a lot of Sisters, so you're a bit exhausted now of Sisters. Yeah, just as the codex. But that's probably what I need personally. Yeah, at least they're all painted.
Well, there's actually, to be fair, they've kind of brought out a couple of new minor changes to units, which have made them a little bit more playable. I did recently read the Demifuge book, which is basically, what's her name? Anyway, it's basically she's kind of like a semi-saint, and she's got a Harlequin friend. and they're both pariahs. So basically, they come back to life all the time. But she is an absolute god level tier human. Like, she just minces like greater demons and stuff. But on the tabletop, she's
Crap.
she's wank. Yeah, she's absolutely shit. I mean, she's got a little bit of an anti-chaos rule, but like,
Unless you're playing Chaos, it's...
well,
I love stuff like that. They're really fucking good in the book. And then you get at me like...
like full on, she just flies around everywhere, just nuking stuff. She's basically unkillable, and she does it on her own without the Harlequin. That's
I mean, I suppose you
supposed to
can't have that in a
cover her.
tabletop, can you?
I would know, but I wouldn't mind if she was like 400
Yeah.
points and I could use her. Like, the way she is, like, people are using her because she got loan up and she does some like janky stuff. but
Yeah.
she's not like she is in the book, and it is kind of upsetting. As I say, I'd happily pay 400 points and have a fucking god tier like
Yeah.
system.
A
running
Magnus.
it, yeah. Just doing crazy stuff, beam eyes and stuff, and it's not psychic powers either. It's just pure faith.
Nice. Because obviously,
Yeah.
they... I have this conversation with Pete because he's convinced me there's no psychics in the wolves. The rune priests don't use psychic powers.
Exactly.
They're runes.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, the Edict of Nicaea didn't apply to them.
Yeah, of course
Because
they
they
didn't.
didn't have psychics. Well, they thought it didn't apply to them. So yeah, so Sisters and GSC. We obviously had the Pariah come out. We also had the rules commentary points changes. Do you want to go quickly through them?
Should we just our armies of... So we go for time. How much time we got?
Well, just as long as we need. Might as well just go
Yeah.
for it.
I know which my ones.
I don't, so you start whilst I pull mine
Mine's
up.
more... So the tower have price drops galore across them. The broadsides gone... They went up. Then they come back down to what they were. All the
Okay.
prices have gone down. Pretty much everything's now in tower, where I think it seems like it's fair. The Thousand Suns... Muselif Beast has gone down in points.
I mean,
Don't know why.
so I think you and other people have said with regards to the Thousand Suns that it would be better if they were worse rules wise,
Yeah,
but were cheaper.
cheaper.
So you could actually have more. You could play with more of your stuff and have a slightly worse but more of them.
Yeah, and the Terminator's gone down again. Another 10 points. They're now 180.
Okay.
I think just try and get people to use them. But everyone's just taking Magnus because he just works better with the army, I think.
Well, Magnus is good. So did he stay?
He stayed.
Stayed.
Yeah. But their main change is the Cabal points. So now Doombolt now states you can't use it on loan up.
Yeah, I mean,
As I should be.
I'm surprised they changed it now though. After
Not
leaving
earlier.
it for like
Yeah.
2 years or however long it's been now.
It should have been.
It feels like 2 years. Like four FAQs or 5 or something.
Yeah, or even the first one, they FAQ quite a
Because
lot.
everyone knew that was a thing. They just let it happen.
yeah.
I just assumed it was actually supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everyone played it differently. That's the worst thing. Some let you have it, some didn't.
I suppose that's good because there's a clarification now. It's
Yeah.
you can do this or you can't do this.
The only one Psyker can do a Cabal ritual
Yes, so you can do one per person,
cycle.
can't you?
Yeah. Which isn't so bad because obviously, say you've got Exalted Sorcerer in a squad. Well, they still got a champion, so that's 2 Psykers in there.
Yeah,
You just go, well, he's doing one, he's doing the other.
that makes sense.
So it's still not that bad.
So
But
it's
it makes
model,
sense.
not unit.
Yeah, I think because people were doing, which I didn't realise was a thing, but apparently it is.
Yeah.
You'd
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Move Magnus,
Hmm.
max inches. I think our man would do his free ritual to let you move Magnus.
Yeah.
And then Magnus will also then go, oh, use the rest of my grab, which to move again.
That is genius.
Free,
Though.
I didn't even know that. You couldn't even think of that.
Absolutely genius.
You get top of the board, so
The stuff that people do with like
Yeah.
their armies is incredible.
just throw Magnus up in deployment zone.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is the... What's it called? Get rid of the armor save.
Oh yeah, that's -2 now.
That's
isn't it?
-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which isn't a bad thing because a lot of stuff is -2, 3 already that you use it on, and it's still. I think flamers are -1. It goes down to -2. If you get a critical, it's now
Yeah,
-3.
I mean, -2 is still useful.
It's still good.
Yeah. I think previously, no. It probably just felt really bad, didn't it? If you got
Yeah.
like a 2 up in cover, and then you got nothing.
Nothing. I think it's good changes.
Okay.
I think.
So to give me a break in between doing mine, I'm going to go next.
Yeah.
So with regards to the sisters, we've essentially got loads and loads of change, and I can't remember the exact points that they've gone up, but some have essentially gone up anywhere between 20 to 50 points a model, which is
Big
quite
increase.
excessive. But then the power level that you are getting from the units is quite a lot. So I will put a link, I think, more so than the thing in a video, but as you can see, it's just all red. It's just all red. Nothing went down. The only thing that I possibly wouldn't agree with, and this is probably, paying for the sins of the past, is the Arcoflagellants. Now, previously, they'd had 2 points increases for the last 2 editions, 2 points changes, which I probably would agree with, because people were still taking them at 45 points per 3 models or 150 for 10. Now, the reason for that is because they had a 4 up feel no pain and 2 wounds, which just meant they were just really awkward to kill. Now, they're 5 up feel no pain,
Oh, so
but they're still the same cost.
yeah.
So I'd argue that they were probably now overpointed based on the same information. I think you can use a stratagem to give them the 4 up, but that's obviously using a stratagem to do that. That's slightly different. So arguably quite a lot worse, because that's 50% to 1 every 3.
Yeah.
Which is still awkward if you're doing like two damage pops, or even 1 damage pops. You can roll 1.
You're still
5
potentially
and
losing a
throw
turn
off.
before last time.
Yeah, whereas you're quite highly likely to be rolling like loads of 4s, and
Yeah.
I've done it a couple of times. It's just nasty. So yeah, they've increased quite significantly so far. So your turn. You've got your Mechanicus.
Yeah, Admech, I'll be honest, I've not really looked at their changes. I've seen some that got more shots, others got more damage.
Well, they are red.
Yeah, they have to be.
They are very red.
Yeah. Because they have now the Doctrine Imperial, you got the assault and heavy side of it.
Yeah.
That's changed. It's no longer if you get AP now for shooting into the deployment zone, it's just got it.
Okay.
Before it was like you have like assault, and also if you were shooting in an opponent in their deployment zone, you get +1 AP. In the heavy version, you get the opposite, or the other way around.
Okay.
Where now it's just you get.
Yeah. So that's one of the changes, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't really remember the changes.
So I think they've given everyone like +1 BS, have they? I think everybody's getting that.
Have they? I can't remember.
I think that was what I was hearing from the group chat, that essentially you're now +1 ballistic skill, which is massive. I don't know what your ballistic skill was before. Was it 3?
Yes, that's because the Doctrine Imperative has changed. That was
Okay.
it. Yeah. I can't. I don't know if you got it on your phone.
I don't
You're on
know.
the points, aren't you?
I couldn't work out where these rules were coming from. If I'm honest,
so you got the points.
I'm
NFM.
assuming it's in your codex.
That's a good idea.
I think that's probably where it is. Not to worry. Essentially, the long story short is that Mechanicus sound like they have improved massively, and the points are representative of that. So they've gone up, like the sisters have gone up,
Yeah.
but for a reason.
Okay, so heavy. If you go heavy, you get it in PS improved by 1.
Yeah.
So then I'm guessing you get hit on 3+. You're heavy, so you stand still. You're now 2+.
Okay.
So
Well, that's what it did before.
yeah, but you didn't get the BS last time.
Oh, it's BS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Business skill characteristic of the ranged weapon is increased by 1.
Yeah. So that's
So-
that's an actual.
So yeah, if you're on heavy and you're standing still, so your destroyers are now or
Hitting
breachers are actually
2s.
really
Yeah.
good.
Is it 2s?
2s.
Wow.
If you stand still.
2s are horrible with like
Yeah.
heavy weapons and stuff. Yeah.
Then each time a melee attack targets its unit, its unit has battle line keyword, and within 6 inches or within 6 inches of any that's mechanical, subtract 1 from the hit roll. So suddenly even in melee you're a bit harder to hit. And then the assault version you get improved weapon skill by 1.
That's good.
So it's like opposite.
So what's the
Yeah.
-1 to hit? Sorry.
So if you're heavy and you're getting attacked in melee,
Yeah.
if you're battle line or within 6 inches of one or more friendly Adeptus Mechanicus battle line units,
Yeah.
subtract 1 from the hit roll.
That's good.
And I'd make a load of battle line.
Yeah.
If you're going assault, then your weapon skill is increased by 1. And each model in his unit makes an attack. If that unit has the battle line keyword and or is within 6 inches of friendly add mech with battle line, improve the AP characteristics of that attack by 1.
So it's all nice and flexible then, isn't it?
It's no longer just restricted to opponent's deployment zone.
And AP is really good. Like anything that's AP is just amazing.
And there's been a load of stat changes throughout a lot of things. So it's good.
No, that's cool.
So the points increases had to happen because they have that better.
Sounds like it was probably the right call. So Eldari, I can't read through my phone. A couple of things have gone up, a couple of things have gone down. I've now broken my phone.
Very professional.
Yeah, so it looks like the Phoenix Lords have gone down and a couple of units have gone up. That includes Dark Reapers, Sky Weavers, Warp Spiders, so the Aspect Warriors basically have gone up. And I don't know. Yeah, Dark Reapers have arguably got worse based on the indirect changing, because I think one of the tactics was to use their what's the leader called?
Eldrad?
Exarch?
Oh, the Exarch.
Is it an Exarch?
No, yeah.
Yeah, so the Dark Reaper Exarch, the leader, basically, had a different weapon which could be fired indirectly. So what people would do is just get 5 of them, and they had the ballistic skill thing where you couldn't modify it.
Right.
And then there was basically a way to make them hit on 2s, I think.
So again, they're affected by the indirect.
Yeah, so arguably worse.
So they might have to use fate points now, or fate dice to...
I mean, to be fair, they're quite decent just, hopping out and shooting.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you can protect them a little bit, they're quite useful.
Weren't they really bad at the start of the edition?
I think they were overpriced.
Yeah.
I can't really... No, I think they lost a lot of AP or something. They basically made them, less desirable, but I think people like them a little bit more now. So, yeah. They have gone slightly up. Then, moving on to... Unless you've got any more armies.
No, I mean, Black Templars, I've not really looked at them,
They've got 2 units. They've got Gladiator, Reaper,
Yeah.
and Valiant has gone up. I don't know how many points by.
That's the only thing with their updates, I don't tell you how much they've gone up by. It'd be good to have no.
It'd be really useful.
Plus 5, plus 10, minus 5, minus...
Because it's helpful to know it's gone up and down.
Yeah.
But it doesn't tell you how many points, and I can't see why that's so difficult to do. It could be quite easy, because it's not necessary, it's just nice.
Yeah.
Because obviously, realistically, it doesn't actually matter, because
at first
you build
it's nice.
a list.
Yeah.
You just need to know what your list contains, but it's just nice to kind of know where, just for your own personal.
I mean, for my Tau Retaliation card list went from 2,000 points. I had 100 points now to...
Exactly. Yeah, it'd be nice to know
where have I lost that?
Yeah. Because it might also make you think, oh yeah, I'll use that unit now. Or, 5 points in. It's still not tempting. So demons, cheaper. So we've got Be'lakor, Bloodthirster, Demon Prince of Chaos, Demon Prince with Wings, Demon Nets. Interesting there, 10 points a model now. Fate Skimmer, Fiends. Nurglings have gone down.
Yeah, because I think people
I
take
suppose
them, but they can't do anything now.
actions,
Yeah, they can't do actions. They can't hold.
That makes sense. Blade Drones have Skull Cannon, which I've never managed to do anything with those things. They're fun to use, but they don't do anything. And the Soul Grinder have all gone down. And interestingly, their rules, their Greater Demons now are a little bit more interesting. So they give you Shadow of the Chaos or Shadow of the Warp, which is basically a army-wide rule for demons, which essentially means that you can do better things, better stratagems within those areas. But they own they're mono god specific. So if it's the Bloodthirster, you only get Khorne.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't work on the rest of your army. Be'lakor had it originally, and he gives it just Shadow of Chaos.
So does he actually gives it now? Does he?
No, he used to anyway.
Does he still do it or not?
Yeah, he still does
Right,
it.
he still does it.
But his is obviously undivided.
Yeah.
So it works army wide. So it's kind of incentivizing a little bit more for mono faction.
Has he gone up in price? Because I saw a few people with Black
Gone-
Demons play
gone
saying... Because a lot of people were saying in the comments that I read, well, Be'lakor was at my list then, and I didn't... Maybe it's because the other demons are better.
Better, yeah.
Maybe that's what it
Yeah,
is.
probably, yeah. Because there was a really nice thing that you could do where you could... So basically, if you're in your Shadow of Chaos, you can pick them up. And I did this in our Christmas game. You pick them up, You can pick 2 up if they're in your Shadow of Chaos, and then you can put them down, obviously in your next turn. But when you do that, if you put Bellicor first, you can then move you can put your next thing within 6 inches, which obviously means that you're more likely to get that charge off.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you do that with monofaction, I mean, you could even do it with like the Bloodthirster and another Bloodthirster, or you could do a Bloodthirster and any other Khorne thing, or even like Scarbrand, and the same for like all the other factions as well. It's just a nice little tactic, and I think personally, you only take Bellicor just to stop people shooting at you.
Yeah,
he's not really that good the rest of the time. Drukhari, Grotesques and Ravagers have gone down. Scourges, not sure what orange means. Guess that means stayed the same. Up.
I don't know. I haven't even known it was an orange.
It's a bit weird. Grey Knights.
Yeah, I started doing them, but I don't really know what their points were before because I've literally only just started.
There's a bit of red.
Dread Knights have gone up.
Yeah, so you've got Grey Knights, Land Raiders, Crusaders gone down. Land Raider Redeemer's gone up. Castellan Crow.
Oh, yeah, the hero. Has he gone down?
Up.
His guy comes back.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Grandmaster Nemesis Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Up. Nemesis Dreadnought is up. And then Stormraven Gunship has gone up.
They're just trying to put the flyers up to get out of the game, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, I think I think globally, it seems like across the armies, all the flyers have gone up.
That's upsetting. No, maybe that just means they're being used more, because I know the Drukhari ones have gone up.
I suppose Drukhari makes sense to use.
Yeah, but they're considered bad, but all the top players are taking them. Weirdly, yeah. I think they're just making them work, like ramming them in and just making them work.
Yeah.
I took a fly the other day. It died in the first turn it came in. Both games.
I think this year's quite a lot of anti-fly out there.
Well, that doesn't help as well. Yeah. Necrons. You've got the Canoptic Doomstalker's gone up. Canoptic Wraiths have gone up, which I think are the two that are really kind of like causing issues, because obviously you've got the Wraith armies.
Catan haven't gone up, have they?
No.
Satan, if you want to be Callum. Satan, sorry.
You
Satan.
You said about your Tau, didn't you?
Yeah, Tau goes straight down all across. The Quasi-Suit's gone down.
Thousand Suns. Tyranids. Biovores have gone down. Mucoloid Spores have gone down. No one would take them anyway. Just basically a mine.
They can't do objectives anymore, can they?
You can make them with other units. And Neurolictor has gone up. Ripper Swarms have orange. I think it means it's gone up and down. So one model is 25, which looks like it's gone up. And then the green has gone down. 3 models have gone to 50 points. So you can get buy one, get one. Buy 2, get one free.
Okay, that's interesting. That's nice.
Buy 2, get one free. That's naughty, actually, because the GW set, I'm pretty certain the Leviathan box came with 2.
It's not like GW, sir.
Yeah, I think that's World Eaters. Yeah, World Eaters the last one. So that's our points. Obviously, we didn't go through armies that we aren't familiar with. They're just our armies, so apologise if we missed you out.
We can't go through every single one.
Feel free to post your changes on our Facebook group
and your opinions on the changes.
Yeah, and your opinions. Yeah, we want to hear your opinions as well. So with regards to the core rules updates, some of these were really good actually. So obviously we've gone through the indirect. Redeployment is now done, as far as I understand, at the
before
the first turn. So that's now been clarified. Yeah. So previously there was a confusion as to when it occurred.
Unless it states otherwise, is that the wording? So I think like Crew or something have somewhere where they can once first turn's decided.
I don't see that. It could be. Check your own rules out there. But essentially,
you did the work.
It's now been retconned to basically say that it happens before you roll to see who goes first, which is more fair but kind of less fun. Out of phase rules. So this actually affects some of the clarifications that we did previously. So as far as I understand, if you do... so out of phase. So there's a model called the Change of Ways, I believe. So this is the Lord of Change. This is a great demon. So when he shoots, Oh, there's lots of models out there that do this. When he shoots, you pick one of the 3 profiles, so sustained or lethal hits, that sort of thing. This is now basically saying that if it's not in the shooting phase, you can't pick one of those.
Yeah, because we've had this come up in our games before where we weren't sure.
Which is what how we were playing it anyway. But it's nice to always have that bit more useful information. Persisting effects. So this is quite interesting. So this is similar to the way it worked before. However, if you get into a transport, so if I cast Conceal on a unit of Guardians with my Warlock or whoever does it, and then that unit gets into a transport and they move up the board, you then blow up that transport, that unit's still got Conceal on it.
Because they've still got the spell on.
Yeah. Obviously, the transport doesn't have Conceal because I didn't cast it on that. But the unit that I cast it on has it until obviously the effect would it would wear off. Yeah. Gaining command points. This is the same as we mentioned earlier. So instead of being 0 CP, it's now -1, and it can only be done. So you can't use it on another unit, as far as I understand, unless it specifically states that CP. And the same for the other way. So if you're taking it, I think the aura just counts anyway. The clarification of the gaining 1 CP. So for no other you can never gain CP more than 1 CP per battle round, regardless.
Yeah,
you just can't do it. Which is how we were doing it anyway.
Stop doing it.
Battle shock is an interesting one. So it says, in this step, if for any reason a unit is forced to take a battle shock test for being below starting strength, unless otherwise stated, that unit does not also have to take a battle shock test for being below half strength. While a unit is battle shocked, all battle shocked models in that unit are also battle shocked.
So there's a lot of battle shock word in there.
Yeah, that one I don't fully understand, but I think that's kind of, where the Tyranids do their Shadow of the Warp. I think it's essentially doing that where they scream, and if you've already taken a battle shock,
but you passed it, then they shoot someone else to try and battle shock them.
Well, it stops you doing like multiple battle shocks, I think, but I'm not 100% sure, so I just don't know is the answer. We can clarify that one later. I need to press the button on the camera. This one is to do with the pivot stuff, so you can...
Yeah, do you want to do the camera? No. We didn't say... We're a bit unsure how it works. We haven't really played the games with it, but it seems like if you're on a oval base monster vehicle, or your hull and a big hull, if you have to turn at any point during the movement or charge or something, you have to take 2 inches off your movement for the pivot. But once you pivot once, you can move multiple angles then. And also, if you're going through a gap, you go through the...
Yeah, so it's overhanging models.
Overhanging like wings stuff. No, like it shrinks to the base.
So it goes to the base, which is better, but you have to obviously be able to make it all the way to the other end.
The only other thing is, which I've brought to you, technically, because your Drukhari as well come into this, they're on little tiny bases.
Yes.
They stand so.
And they will retcon this, because I knew about this, and I think I used it once in the games that I played the other day. So essentially, Drukhari, for those out there who don't know, nice long pointy vehicles. I set up on the line sideways, and the rules state now that you can pivot as much as you want on a round base. So rules as stated at the moment, you can move it sideways, turn, and then you're however long that middle point is. So Drukhari vehicles specifically, very long. You've probably got an extra 3 inches off that.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. That's something different.
Okay.
Mine's the getting through gaps. You go by, tanks go by the hull size. So say Land Raider can't fit through a small gap. But because your Drukhari and my tower on little bases, technically they shrink to that size.
Yes.
Can get through the tight gap.
Oh, see.
Whether that's to make it out like they're quite agile so they can skim up without, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Or if they're going to retcon it, we don't know.
They're kind of like maybe floating over it, or.
But you can get down like an alleyway. That's
interesting, actually. That's not even what I thought. So that's useful that we both discussed that.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought when I saw it.
But yeah, that one that I said, I think that'll probably get retcon because that is a bit cheeky, but maybe intentional, because again, it should be faster.
Yeah.
However, it does also kind of work with vehicles, because say you've got again a long vehicle and your Land Raider moves sideways, if you're paying 2 points to turn it and it's a 3-inch, you're still gaining
Yeah.
an inch. So it's not like completely out. It's just certain vehicles may or may not gain advantage from that. Yeah, what's the other main?
The main
ones?
one will be the devastating wounds has changed.
Yeah, so mortal wounds. So it's now back to dev wounds are mortal wounds.
Yeah, but
However, they don't work like mortal wounds in terms of they won't
carry over.
Carry over. So the way mortal wounds work is it's an individual wound that essentially would carry over. So if you do 2 mortal wounds and they've got 1 wound, you kill that person and then it carries over to the next person. The way dev wounds work is it's no armor save. So essentially a mortal wound. However, if it's 2 damage, you're killing a 1 wound person, you're then killing just that person because it doesn't
Carry over
to the next one, which means that Feel No Pains, for example, against mortal wounds now work.
So not only have broadsides got a points drop, their special rule
It's actually functional,
mortal wounds get a 4+ feel no pain.
which is good. I think that's really good.
And custodes, massive change.
Well, they already retconned that, so they already had that.
They did. Then the new codex got rid of it.
Oh,
So they lost it.
so they had it for like what,
They
a
had
week
it.
or something.
This is what Pete was telling me. So it's now just gone back to... Which is why people are now saying, well, were these codexes written before the changes?
Well, they would have been. Yeah, I mean,
And
because
just not updated because
I think they put massive orders in,
Yeah.
order them from like a different country, and then they spend ages making them. Yeah, there's loads of changes in this document, and I do really
done the
like
main ones,
it.
I think.
Yeah, the only other thing I would say is, so tank shock is an interesting one. So it now goes off the
yes.
toughness, not the strength, only on vehicles, not monsters. So you run your monster in. It kind of makes sense because a monster would be
Big,
swinging.
powerful, yeah. Not Commander Force,
Yeah.
Farsight.
But it helps me a lot because, well, actually just general tanks like rhinos that can now do, because it is a tank. It's the tank that's running you over. It's trying to run you over. It should be the tank that is the thing that's trying to kill you, not it's like,
Las
spike
cannon
on
whacking
the
you with a
side.
las cannon.
Yeah. So essentially, you use the toughness value
Yeah.
rather than the strength value.
This is mainly to counter walkers, I think, because you had like Commander Farsight, his strength 10, I think, on his weapon
Okay.
running in, where now he's only toughness, something like 6 or 5, something. So he's actually, the walkers have been hit. Because people are just getting load of walkers and tank shocking into
Yes.
Land Raiders or something.
I think Insane Bravery, you can now use it anywhere.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, so that
Yes.
previously we've clarified was only in the command phase. It's now anytime.
Yeah.
Which is also useful.
As far as I remember, that's the main.
There was one more.
Big
There was the heroic
changes.
intervention's gone down by 1.
Yes, it has. Yeah, that came in useful for me.
Well, I've always thought that's too expensive anyway. It almost never comes up, and then when it does come up, it's too expensive to use.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't realise that's what heroic intervention. You don't get. It says you don't get charge bonuses, so you don't get to fight first, but you still get your.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
you still considered to have charged.
yeah. I don't know.
I think I don't know. Well, it's still new combat, so I suppose if you've just entered combat, so those rules, yeah. It never. I don't think I've ever used it, and the times that I have used it, I've thought this is too expensive.
I did use it in a game on the weekend, and to be fair, my Infernal Master destroyed a Dreadnought.
Okay, what's an Infernal Master?
The guy with the flame, yellow cape.
Oh,
got
yes,
sword,
yeah.
Guy, little guy. They've all got psychic weapons. I get devastating wounds. He can make a dice of 6.
Oh
Guaranteed
yes,
devil wounds.
yeah. He punches like
Yeah, everyone's got lethal or something like that.
it's like Mike Tyson of the
He's
T-Sons, isn't he?
Yeah, and he charged his the Brutalis Dreadnought
Yes.
into my Mucilif.
Oh, nice.
Infernal Master killed Brutalis.
No.
He blew up. Bear in mind, Magnus is next to him, that's alright. So Brutalis blew up,
Yeah.
caused my Mucilif to die.
Yeah.
He blew up. Did D6, rolled a 6, obviously a Magnus.
Yeah.
So Magnus straight away lost 6 wounds.
I love it.
And everyone's like double gen.
Just like-
First turn, first combat, eruptions.
Lovely. That's epic though.
Yeah.
Those are the epic moments that like actually make the game.
It was amazing.
Because you remember stuff like that forever, don't you?
Yeah. Only I did cheat a bit. I found it after because I didn't realise, because we read it as heroic intervention acts as if it's your charge phase.
Oh right, yeah.
I went first, but actually I found it after. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think the way to get around that is just to have fights first units.
Yeah. Because usually the charging unit goes first, don't it? So we read it as, which now saying it counts as my charge.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm pretty certain you've now got it right. Yeah. However, obviously, I think where you want those. So that character I was talking about earlier, Ethereal Stern, she basically has fights first. So, but she gets the charge intervention, heroic intervention for free.
Yeah. So you're always going to go in charge.
So the idea is that you go, I'm going to counter that, and I'm going to fights first, because obviously she has fights first. So yeah, it's beneficial for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a risky take, isn't it? If you
Yeah. I think the thing they're doing is you find out what the rules are.
The interesting thing I think with the fight with the heroic intervention is it used to be character.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah.
Now it's just
Now
unit.
it's just unit.
So you can just charge a random
Yeah.
unit in, like Space Wolves or something.
And sometimes suppose you get that extra hit in.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Right, we need to do pledges.
Yes, I'll be honest. I've not done any pledges.
Yes.
Not many people have. We haven't been. I'll be on it more this time.
I think a lot of people have struggled, haven't they, with their pledges?
We've not. It's our fault as well because we've not really advertised it as much as we usually do. I'm usually quite hot on it,
Yes.
putting things up, and I've.
So I was supposed to. I don't know where our list is. I was supposed to do buildings. I painted one green in like 3 different shades. I did really badly with mine. It is awful and has no detail on it.
So,
and then I ruined it, and then I tried something else. I was trying to be really quick with it, but failed badly, and then just didn't do any more. So yeah, I'm
yeah. Yes, Raspberry. Charlie said he's been busy.
Yeah.
Still no good excuse, so for him.
Charlie's moving house.
Yeah,
so,
should be quicker. So
I'm. Yeah. Congratulations on the new house.
yeah, congratulations.
Hope you love your new house and you get a hobby spot so you can do your paint and you don't get.
Yeah.
Then you've got Callum. I think Callum hasn't. I'm just guessing Callum hasn't done it.
I guess
He's not here, so he can't defend himself anyway. So
either way, if he has,
and if he hasn't,
Aaron was pretty much just paint whatever be a bonus.
Oh really? Did not many people do it this
There's
week?
only 4 pit names on it.
Oh, have you looked?
Yeah, I looked at last night, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be on it more for this next one. In fact, I'll do my pledge now. I'll get in because I'm starting the Grey Knights. I'm gonna. When we're getting.
So you're gonna do your Grey Knights.
Yeah.
You're gonna do any specific Grey Knights?
I'll do the. But they're quite easy to do because they're just base coat silver and. So I'll probably
How many are you doing then?
I'll do the Dread Knight.
Yeah.
I'll get one of them done. I'll get a squad of Paladins done.
Yeah.
And I'll go for a strike team as well.
That sounds like a lot. How many is that?
So 11 models.
Right, episode 11. So we missed Rich off. So I think Rich was doing a Swarm Lord. Sorry, Richard, we missed you off. And it looks like you wanted it parade ready. You wanted to finish sculpting a Tyrant Guard as a stretch goal. And it says on here ongoing, so I'm assuming you haven't done it. So
yeah. However, I bet his base coating probably looks better than mine.
Yeah, I bet you've done a fantastic job though. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Aaron, anything with paint is a win.
Cop out.
I think everybody's struggled this month actually, and it looks like you have done it. So congratulations, you're the
only winner.
You're the only one, according to our list.
Ass kisser.
So congratulations, Aaron. You win completely.
You've won the game. The game of pledge.
Yeah. So yeah. Next, I think maybe it's just because it's summer and everybody's just really, really busy. But yeah, we want this list filled up, people.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to.
That's rich coming from us. I've not even been on it.
I couldn't even paint one building.
I'm not even on the pledge list.
Did you not fill in the list?
I didn't put on the list.
Okay, fine.
I was led by example and everyone gave a bad example. So it's not me, it's everyone else.
Right, so we need people to fill out the list.
Yeah.
Okay, no, wonderful.
Sweet.
Have we got anything else we want to say?
No, my possible new stuff or Fanson's coming.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to, predictions wise, and we can talk about this next
Yeah.
episode, but obviously the roadmap's coming.
Yeah. I am sweating my knackers off, so
So we're going
we're going
to go have a cold shower.
together.
So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Obviously all the fun things. People apparently don't know we have a Patreon and or a Facebook group. So if you don't know, we do have one. Join us there. There's lots of different benefits. If you do like our content, you can always give us a like and follow us, and that would really help as well, especially with our algorithms, because I think YouTube and Spotify and everybody else are actually kind of still trying to work out where to put us and who to advertise to. So just by giving us a like and a follow or a subscribe, whichever platform you're on, please do that, because that will help massively.
And the angel gains their wings every time you do that, so it helps.
Yes, angels.
Yeah.
They get their wings.
Yeah.
So yeah, do it, because angels. And yeah, just thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Sorry it was a little bit backwards this time, but we felt that news and it was very competitive, so it kind of all came into one. So we'll do obviously our more fluffy one next episode. So we hope to see you there. Thank you for joining us. I've been James.
And I have been Dave, not James.
And I'm Callum.
Keep hammering.